Respected dignitaries on the dais, distinguished members of the faculty, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Dr. B.B.A Ambedkar National Law University, it is my proud privilege to welcome you all to today's session. There are moments in an institution's calendar that are remembered not merely for what was said, but for who stood before the students and said it. Today is one such moment. The bench of Supreme Court of India is home to some of the very finest legal minds in our country that has produced, and it's a privilege for any law school to host one of its sitting judges. A jurist whose journey from courtrooms of Guwahati to the high courts of 3 states and now to the highest court in the land speaks not just of legal brilliance, but of a lifelong, unwavering commitment to the idea of justice itself. It is my profound honor to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, Judge, Supreme Court of India. My Lord, your presence here today is an honor to this university, and every student in this hall will carry with them for years to come. Before words are spoken, tradition asks that light be kindled first. For in Indian thought, the lamp is not lit to merely dispel darkness from a room, but to invoke the very spirit of knowledge and truth into an occasion. It is rightly said, the light of the lamp is itself the supreme, the flame that removes all the darkness. I offer my salutations to this sacred light. May its flame remind us all, dignitaries and students alike, that the pursuit of law is, at its heart, a pursuit of light over shadow, of clarity over confusion. So I now request our esteemed guest to kindly light the ceremonial lamp. Please, sir.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मा पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा ब्रह्म विचारसार परमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीं अभयदा जाड्यान्धकारापहा.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. It is often said that true respect is shown not in words alone, but in the gestures that accompany them. And with the same feeling, I request our worthy Registrar, Sir, Professor Dr. Ashutosh Mishra, to formally felicitate our distinguished guest today on behalf of this university. Please, sir. I now request our worthy Registrar Sir to please felicitate our guest of honor, Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja Sir. Thank you, sir. I now request our worthy Registrar Sir for the welcome address to our today's guest. Please, sir.
आप बैठे नहीं नीचे आप बैठ Namaskar. Good morning, everyone. First of all, on behalf of Hon'ble Vice-Chancellor, sir, Professor Dr. Devinder Singh, sir, I want to welcome all of our esteemed guests and the participant and our new inducted B.A.L.B. and B.B.A.L.B. students. First of all, it is a matter of immense proud and privilege to all of us that Honorable Justice Ujjal Bhuyan sir has accepted our invite and he has given his precious time to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Law University, Sonipat. Please clap for this. And sir, we shall be highly grateful for your this precious time. And I think when I was a student in University of Delhi and I got admission in B.A.L.B. and at that time, first time we saw one Supreme Court judge. तो इतना क्रेज था एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट जज को देखने का कि उनके आसपास की जितनी भी फोटो थी वो मेरे ख्याल से मैंने 8-10 साल तक रखी थी. तो it is a kind of craze because we used to study so many cases every day, जैसे भी आज की डेट में जो लाइव लॉ, बार एंड बेंच, and it is a kind of ये होता नहीं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जज होता कैसा है, इतना मतलब इस प्रकार की फीलिंग उस समय आती थी. I think same kind of feeling with our newly inducted student. And I think we should be grateful to sir for giving blessing to our newly inducted students, B.A.L.B. and B.B.A.L.B. Sir is a renowned jurist and internationally acclaimed academician also. And sir, you are in campus today. I am thanking you again. I am very grateful to our Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja sir, Director ILI. Sir was previously Vice-Chancellor of National Law University, Guwahati. And sir is an acclaimed international academician He was my mentor in University of Delhi also. In 2010, when I had started my career, sir was our senior faculty member, and he is a renowned academician. Thank you, sir, for giving your precious time. I am thankful to our Hon'ble Vice-Chancellor, sir. Due to his visionary leadership, we are able to excel. In last 1 year, in his tenure, we are able to sign MOUs with so many international universities like Georgia State University. We had signed in last 2 days. Sir, in future, our student will participate in the summer training program in Georgia University, Atlanta, and credit should goes to our Hon'ble Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Dr. Devinder Singh. In last 1 year, you people have seen, I think newly inducted student, they must have seen that this student is full of one of the best infrastructure facilities in India. And it is, I think, only NLUs in which students are getting admission through CLAT, which is nearby Delhi itself. You people are so fortunate that you got admission here. And sir, we have 12 established research centers. All the faculties, senior faculties, and all the newly inducted faculties, they are doing a great job in their research centers. We have associate professors like Dr. Pooja Jaiswal, Dr. Madhukar, and all the assistant professors like Siddharth Singh, Guleria ji, Sukhvinder ji, and Divya ji. And sir, they are doing a great job in our National Law University, Sony. So thank you everyone. Thank you to all our participants, and thank you to Honorable Chief Guest, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such warm welcome address. Proceeding with the session, our esteemed guest of honor for today's session, Senior Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja. He currently serves as Director of ILI New Delhi on deputation from the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, where he holds the position of Senior Professor. With close to 3 decades of teaching and research experience, Professor Ahuja is a widely recognized authority on IPR and international law. Before joining the ILI, he served as Vice-Chancellor of National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam, from 2021 to 2024. He holds a PhD and LLM from University of Delhi and an MPhil from JNU, and has authored and contributed to numerous books and publications in his field. Sir, it is an honor to have you with us today. So please address our gathering and shower us with your words. Please, sir.
Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, Judge Supreme Court, my friend, my brother, Professor Ashutosh Mishra, Registrar, all respected teachers, and my dear students, a very good morning. Let me just tell you, my association with Lordship is 5 years old now. I joined National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam as Vice-Chancellor in 2021. Lordship also belonged to Assam, to Guwahati, but Lordship was a judge in Bombay High Court. I did not know about him, but then my students came to me. They wanted to start a lecture. We had a series of Kamrup lectures. So they came to me. They discussed with me, sir, who should be the speaker. So till then, I was not aware about the Lordship. And then they themselves, suggested me that we'll invite Justice Ujjal Bhuyan from Bombay High Court. I said, okay, we'll think about it. I have to get the details of the Lordship. They said, sir, don't worry. We had done that. We had contacted Lordship, and Lordship has given the, consent also. I was slightly angry with them. I said, you approached the judge of High Court directly without even consulting me, and the judge, the lordship will definitely get angry with me that I did not, invite him. Sir, you don't worry, you do not know our Judge Saab, and he's very friendly to students. And then later on, I got to know that, well, he was so popular in NLU Assam, not only in NLU Assam, but in all universities where there was law faculty. Everybody, every student, he was aware of the lordship. Everybody was at ease with lordship, and most of them, they were having the personal number of the lordship also. He's such a wonderful person, such a humble person, and a great personality. And I was just on the way, from that administrative block to this block, when we were coming, I was complaining to lordship. I said, lordship, when I was the Vice-Chancellor, you did not support me in the administration. Now you are supporting the existing, my successor, Professor KVS Sharma, who is the Vice-Chancellor. You are giving him full support. The construction of the hostels have come up. They had increased their intake of LLB, of LLM. When I joined, there was 60 intake in LLB, B.A.L.L.B, and 13 LLM. So I made it 120, but then the thing was that once the hostel will be ready, then of course we'll start. And then, LLM, I increased from 30 to 14. Now I got to know, the lordship was telling that LLM, they had increased the seat to 140. LLB, they had gone to 120, and they have a plan of B.B.A LL.B also. They have started one LLM with Department of Corporate Affairs. They have started a course on MA in IPR. And they are going for such an expansion of the university. It is really great. And I'm quite sure that, so long lordship is supporting NLU Assam, it is really going to touch the new heights. But the only thing is that we are not that lucky as you people are. We are in the vicinity of Delhi. Though you started much later than NLU Assam, and you are getting a lot of benefits. Professor Ashutosh Mishra had rightly pointed out that yours is the only university, this is the only university which is near Delhi or in this NCR area where, the students come from CLAT, because NLU Delhi is not a part of the CLAT consortium, and the other one is in Patiala, which is beyond the NCR area. So when Professor Ashutosh Mishra, requested me that, sir, can you make a request to Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, because lordship had never visited NLU Sonipat, so we would like to invite him, and we will be very lucky if he graces the NLU Sonipat on the occasion of Deeksharambh. I said, okay, that will not be a problem for me, because I can easily talk to lordship, and if lordship is in Delhi, then lordship will never say no. And this is what exactly happened, and lordship had immediately, agreed, and you people are really very lucky to have lordship, on the very first day or the second day of your university. So thank you, lordship, for acceding to my request on behalf of NLU Sonipat. And Professor Ashutosh Mishra, as I told you, he was my colleague at Delhi University. We are from the same center, and he's really a very good administrator. I recall some of the events, which we conducted at Law Center 2 when I was heading Law Center 2, and one of them was having a program, an international conference on mediation with Supreme Court Mediation and Conciliation Project Committee, and where I think more than 250 judges came, and there were judges from Supreme Court and Chief Justice of various high courts and judges of various high courts. They were there, and of course these 250 judges were from the district judiciary. They were the senior judges, and it went on very well, and the entire credit goes to him, the way he had organized that particular program, and I'm so happy to see that he is doing the same thing. And of course, you people are lucky that MOU has been signed between you and which university you were talking of? And of course, some of you will be like visiting the university, and this is what the leadership is all about. And of course, the kind of network Professor Ashutosh has, I don't think that you will be having any problem in your placement or internship. So friends, at the outset, I would like to congratulate all of you for joining this institution, for clearing CLAT and getting this particular NLU Sonipat. I got to know, that the merit list of NLU Sonipat goes high actually than many of the universities which were established prior to NLU Sonipat. So heartiest congratulations for making it to NLU Sonipat. And well friends, you can see a very bright future for all of you, provided you show your sincerity. I'll just take you back into history, and whenever I address this kind of an audience, I get slightly nostalgic because I go back into the history, remember my time, how my time was, and of course, Lordship will agree with me that during our times, the legal education was in shambles, and it was never the first choice of the students, to get law. It was like engineering or the medical or the architecture or maybe, some other courses, and anybody who did not get the admission in any of these courses will end up doing law at the end. There was no moot court kind of a thing, during our time. There was no client counseling. There were no international conferences or so. Hardly, sometimes, maybe in a year or so, some speaker will come and will deliver a lecture. Otherwise, there was hardly anything which used to happen. The classes will get over within, the time slot was 3 hours only. So sometimes there is only one class, sometimes there are 2 classes. So this is how the things used to happen. Attendance, it was completely up to you whether you want to attend the classes. There was no mandatory kind of a restriction as we have today. And, the people, most of the students were non-serious kind of, person when they were doing law. Only few, one like the Lordship had to pursue this particular career, or I had to, pursue my career in law. So we were sincere to that extent that we have to pursue our career, but otherwise, most of them, they will be doing law just to keep, just to write LLB under their name. And of course, like, taking advantage before some police and writing the name advocate before, at the door of their house, so that the police people will not, unnecessarily trouble them, or maybe putting a sticker on their car or their scooter. But otherwise, that sincerity was completely not there. Then in 1985 to 86, that is 4 decades back, a development took place, and that was the 5-year law program was started in an NLU, which was the first one was, as all of you know, NLS, that is National Law School of India, University, Bangalore. So there they did this experiment, and Professor Bakshi, Upendra Bakshi, Professor Madhav Menon, and others, they were involved in that, and they were just going to make this experiment which could fail, which could be successful. And fortunately, it became successful, and thereafter, after some time, the Nalsar Hyderabad came up, then NLIU Bhopal came up, then NUJS Kolkata, and then of course there were a lot of NLUs came up almost in all the states. I think today we have 27 or 28 NLUs. The 27. The last one is the NLU Sikkim, which has also become operational. It was started. Then, there were fund crunch, it was stopped, and then again, it had restarted. So, that way you people are really lucky that, you have come from that particular phase, which we faced, to this particular phase where, of course, the classes are happening regularly, attendance, 75% attendance is mandatory. And of course, the BCI has also played an important role by harmonizing the courses which have to be taught. So earlier it was completely up to the university what kind of courses or the papers they would like to teach, but now the compulsory papers are there, now the clinical papers are there. So like you have moot court paper, professional ethics, drafting, which is again another important paper. Mediation independently has been added in 2021. So a full course on mediation, which is going to be the future of the country, that has been added, that of course you will be studying. So friends, if I just talk about the employment opportunities, the legal education, the B.A. LL.B or the LL.B, the law is the only discipline where you will find the maximum number of employment opportunity in comparison to any discipline, be it engineering, medical, architecture, pharmacy, whatever it is. I would advise you to identify the core competence in you, because there are lot of avenues in law. You need to identify what is the core competence in you. Are you fit for litigation? If yes, then you can just go to, go and join the litigation. What do you think? No, litigation, that is not my cup of tea. I would like a job, while sitting and working in the office or so. Maybe that the law firm would be better for you, or some corporate sector firm will be better for you, right? Or maybe that you would like to go for academics, or, there are other fields, where of course you may just think of, but you need to identify the core competence in you, your interest, because litigation is said to be a very easy kind of a profession, right? So everybody feels ki, okay yaar, agar kuch nahi hoga to wakalat karenge. So the moment you have that casual attitude, that doesn't work. I tell you honestly, the Lordship of course had experience about that, and he may tell you more than that. Litigation is something where you have to give the most of you. There is no watch, there is no time, there is nothing like 10 to 5. We will be sitting till midnight, right? Working on the files. You may be filing the petitions, now the online facilities are there. In the midnight, you may have to, work till midnight and then get up early in the morning, get ready, and maybe that you may be briefing your seniors, or, like even if you are doing it independently, you will be preparing yourself and going to the court. So, well friends, you will be having a difficult time, if you are going for litigation, but once you succeed in litigation, once you show the patience for half a decade or so, then thereafter, the sky is the limit. That sky is the limit, nobody can stop you then. Friends, do participate in all your university activities, be it any competition, be it a moot court or client counseling, or be it some kind of conferences or seminars where you will have to make presentation. Go and participate in the moot court competition of other law schools. Now every law schools are organizing that, and this participation is very essential to acquire skills. See, if you have that degree in your hand of B.A. LL.B without skills, that is of no use. It what the piece of paper on which your score is written. It is basically the skills which matters, and the skills you will acquire only when you participate in those activities. You need to make yourself employable. There are so many people, doing LL.B courses, having the degrees. But again, if you did not make your employable by acquiring skills, then you are not better than the other people. You will be having the opportunity to have 10 internship. Now, you can talk to your teachers. You can take guidance from them where to do those internship from. Right in the first year itself, do not go and join a Supreme Court judge. You won't learn anything. Right. So go and look the functioning, maybe go to Parliament, maybe go to NHRC, NCW, maybe to Delhi Commission for Child Rights, go there, look at how these things are working, and get the experience at the grassroots level. Try to understand the society, and their problems. And when you are in the third year also, then of course you can go to the advocates, and maybe in the fourth year you can join a judge of High Court or Supreme Court. You can do internship, and then of course you will have a wonderful experience over there. And well, friends, as I have told you that among all the options which are available to you, if you can have patience and if you can just give your 100%, then litigation turns out to be the best option out of it. I was told by somebody that some of the advocates have started charging consultation fee per minute. Right. And there was a senior advocate who met me, and then he said that, well, for briefing only, there was an advocate, who charged 1.5 lakhs per hour, and the briefing went for 5 hours. So a bill of 7.5 lakh was raised. Right. No employment is going to give you that kind of a money. But remember, understand how much efforts that advocate might have put in, to come to that particular level where the people are willing to pay them per minute. And of course, like the 1.5 lakhs or so, per hour. And of course, if it is a bail or something, it is the only profession where you will get a lot of money and nobody will complain. But if you go to a hospital, if the doctor asks you to pay 1,000 rupee fee, you will curse doctor, you will curse hospital, that they have raised this particular bill. But when you go to advocate and you end up paying a huge sum because he had helped you to win that particular case, or even if the case has not been won, but still you will not be cursing him. Right. So this is the only profession where you can ask for any amount as fee, because till now the BCI has not come out with any regulation on the fee, and I don't think that it will happen. And of course, in arbitration they came out, but that is not being followed. This is what I got to know. So arbitration is another good area for you, where of course up to 3 to 5 lakhs are being charged for per sitting. So well, friends, make up your mind, identify core competence in you, and make yourself employable. Right. There should be a zeal in you to learn new things, Do participate in all the activities. Do acquire the skills, which are necessary for a legal profession. So once again, I wish you all the very best. May God bless you. May you have, all of you have the bright future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm words and especially the experiences that would be really helpful for our students. So this is a moment of immense pride and honor for our university. It is my privilege to present an introduction of our esteemed chief guest, the Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, Judge, Supreme Court of India. His lordship was born in 1964 in Guwahati, Assam, into a family already steeped in the law. His father, the late Sri Sachendranath Bhuyan, was a senior advocate and former Advocate General of Assam. He completed his schooling from Guwahati. He graduated in arts from Colonial College, Delhi University, before returning to Assam to pursue his LLB from Government Law College, Guwahati, and his LLM from Guwahati University. His lordship enrolled as an advocate in 1991 and went on to build a distinguished practice spanning nearly 2 decades before the Guwahati High Court, specializing in revenue, labor, and taxation law. He served as standing counsel for the Income Tax Department for 16 years from 1995 to 2011, as additional government advocate for Meghalaya for 2002 to 2006, and as special counsel for the Forest Department, Government of Arunachal Pradesh from 2005 to 2009. In March 2010, he was appointed standing counsel of Guwahati High Court, and in September of that year was designated a senior advocate. In July 2011, he was appointed Additional Advocate General of Assam. Later, the same year in 2011, he was elevated as an Additional Judge of Guwahati High Court and was confirmed as a permanent judge in 2013, a position he held for nearly 8 years, during which he was also closely associated with the Judicial Academy Assam and National Law University Guwahati. In 2019, he was transferred to Bombay High Court and 2 years later in 2021 to the Telangana High Court, and there he also served as the Executive Chairman of the Telangana State Legal Services Authority. In 2022, he was elevated as Chief Justice of Telangana High Court and by virtue of that office also served as the Chancellor of Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. In 2023, the Supreme Court Collegium recommended his elevation to the Apex Court, recognizing in particular his depth of experience in taxation law, and his lordship was sworn in as a judge of Supreme Court of India in 2023. Beyond the courtroom, his lordship is known to carry a genuine love for the arts, with keen interest as acting and music alongside the law. Sir has spoken with real conviction about legal education. He has observed that the biggest challenge facing legal education today is the wide disparity in teaching quality across law colleges, and this gap must be addressed. Since it is the district judiciary where the bulk of litigation is fought that ultimately bears its impact. Those words carry particularly weight here, are just as they are to the very students who will carry legal education forward. So with that thought, it is my privilege to invite the Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan to address us. Please, sir.
Senior Professor and Director of Indian Law Institute, Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja, the Vice-Chancellor of the Dr. B.B.A Ambedkar National Law University, Sonipat, in absentia, Dr. Devinder Singh, the Registrar of this university, Professor Dr. Ashutosh Mishra, the esteemed faculty members, officers and staff of the university, and my dear students. A very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I must thank Professor Ahuja for saying so many good things about me. I really do not know whether I really deserve such accolades. But anyway, thank you, Professor Ahuja, for your kind words. And I agree with many of the things that Professor Ahuja said, and I'll come to that a bit later. As Professor Ahuja said, that you are very lucky that your university is next only to the national capital. I think it is in the NCR. It is in the NCR. So this university, along with the Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai, which is Mumbai based, they have locational advantages. So please make the best of it, the most of it. My father was a very established lawyer in that part of the country. But I really did not think in my school days as to what I would like to become. So I was a student of, at that time, it was a small town. We had a couple of good schools. So I was a student of Don Bosco's high school at that point of time. Class 7 I was. Our regular maths teacher was absent. So a substitute teacher came from another Don Bosco who was on his way home. He came from, there's a place called Dibrugarh, those who are aware of that topography of that area. He was on his way to Shillong, so he stayed back for a day and he took our class. So he was asking, it was just a substitute kind of a class. So he was asking each and every student as to what he would like to become. Most said, I'd like to become an IS officer, some said engineer, some said a policeman, some said army officer. So when it came to me, I did not think about it. So I suddenly said, I would like to become a lawyer. So my friends, they all laughed around. The teacher asked, why are you laughing? And they said, sir, lawyers are liars. So he said, no, you are mistaken. We were in class 7, huh? Mind you, we are in class 7. How old will we be? 13, 14 years like that. He said, lawyers assist the court in trying to arrive at the truth. The courts are in pursuit of truth. And there is no one single truth. There are shades of truth. These are his great words. We were class 7 students, we did not understand what it really meant. So when the bell rang, so we asked him, sir, you asked all of us our names, you asked all of us what you would like to become. May we ask you your name, sir? He said, yes, why not? I am Mr. P.S. Angma, he said. He was a maths teacher at that point of time. Little did we know that one day he would become one of the most lovable speakers of the Indian Lok Sabha. I think that was the 8th or 9th Lok Sabha. So that's how history is. And then I studied in Kirorimal. At that time, there was a fad. So me and one of my immediate, we didn't stay in the hostel. We stayed in a place called Mukherjee Nagar. One of my friends was Mr. Manoj Bajpayee. You must have heard his name. You must have seen his movies. I would rate him as one of the outstanding actors of Indian cinema. So much so that many of the major heroes were hesitant to act in movies where he is there because he normally overshadows everybody. So he was there, and maybe inspired by his, the way this mannerism, he had that mannerism during that point of time itself. So we decided that we will go to Pune to pursue filmmaking, the Institute of Filmmaking. My parents got alarmed. So they landed up in Delhi. They said, if you have completed your graduation, let us go back, you study law. So this is how I went back. And many of the law teachers there, they were part-time actually teachers. They were mostly lawyers. At that point, I don't know whether this provision is still there or not. If you have 7 years of practice, you can be a part-time teacher in law college. So they helped me get admission in the government law college. I got there. Unlike today, there's a sea change, as Professor Ahuja said. There's a sea change in the scenario. Ours was a evening class, and we had a motley, group of students. We had engineering students who thought that post their engineering courses, a law degree would be an additional, qualification. We had government servants on the verge of retirement who thought, if I get a LLB degree, post-retirement, I can do some practice. We had retired government servants. Then we had bored housewives also. They had nothing to do, they joined law. In fact, quite a few of them, they told me that why don't you join our kitty group? Unfortunately, at that point of time, my pocket money was not enough, so I could not join that group. So this is how education used to be in those days. Law education used to be, as Professor had said, only those majority who did not have any other first option would end up joining the law course. The turn came around, it was agitating the minds of many people. The turn came around in the 80s when a dedicated group of teachers led by Professor Madhav Menon started the NLSY in Bangalore. They started from a garage. Today it is one of in Asia, or I would call it in the international sense also. It is one of the best universities, law universities. And I'm very happy and proud that I'm also associated with it in one way or the other. So this is how it is. At the outset, let me congratulate you for being selected in this CLAT examination. It's a tough examination, and being allotted this university. Indeed, you are very lucky. And I'm also thankful to the university authorities for inviting me to take part in this induction ceremony, which they have very aptly named as Deeksharambh ceremony, after the works of Dr. B.B.A Ambedkar. Every year a new batch joins the university. Every year a new batch moves out of the university. That's how, like blood circulation, the university's circulation goes on. Fresh people come in. Those who are matured, they move out. And there's something very uniquely reassuring to see so many young people. In fact, I can tell you, I have stopped going to these academies to give lectures to judges. Judges have already made up their minds. There is nothing to teach them. I enjoy going to the universities. I enjoy to be with the students, and I enjoy going with the bar, to the bar advocates bar, lawyers bar. Yes. I also take this opportunity to compliment the university for the remarkable progress that it has made within a relatively short span of time. The management, the faculty, the staff, and the students deserve full praise for this. And the kind of dedication that I have seen, I foresee a very bright future for this university. Friends, I won't take much time. This university, it's a national law university, a national character, and it is very aptly named after one of India's greatest sons, Bharat Ratna, Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. As students of law, I believe it is important for you to know a little bit of Dr. Ambedkar as you navigate through your law studies, because the study of law, the study of the Constitution itself would be a tribute to this great man, this great visionary. His life, his struggles, his philosophy are there in our Constitution. It finds its resonance in our Constitution. Therefore, I thought, it is necessary that we should know something about this great man collectively. He was born on 14th April 1891 in a place called Mao in present-day Madhya Pradesh. His original name was Bhima Ramji Sakpal. He was the 14th child of his father, Ramji Manoji Sakpal, who was a Subedar in the army at that point of time. They were a Marathi-speaking family, and he was born into the Mahar caste, which was then considered to be an untouchable. It's a Dalit caste. They were subjected to great deal of socio-economic discrimination. though he attended school, young Bhima Ramji and several children who belonged to the Mahar caste were not allowed to sit inside the classroom and were often discriminated against. One such incident he recalls later in his autobiographical work, Waiting for a Visa. He says, and I quote, "While in the school, I knew that children of the touchable classes, when they felt thirsty, they could go out to the water tap, open it, and quench their thirst. But my position was separate. I could not touch the tap, and unless it was opened for me by a touchable person, it was not possible for me to quench my thirst." This kind of discrimination he faced. After his father passed away, the family shifted to a place called Satara in present-day Maharashtra, where, perhaps in a bid to hide his Mahar identity, his teacher who was fond of him, who became fond of him because of his intellect, which he displayed at quite a young age, changed his surname to Ambedkar. Ambedkar was not his original surname. Changed his surname to Ambedkar in the school records. Thereafter, he came to be known as Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar. In 1897, the family moved to what was then Bombay, a liberal cosmopolitan town at that point of a city, even at that stage, where he enrolled himself in the Elphinstone High School. He passed his matriculation examination and thereafter joined the prestigious Elphinstone College. It is still there. If you have been to Mumbai, you will find it affiliated to the University of Bombay. He obtained his degree in economics as well as political science, double graduate, from the University of Bombay in 1912. In 1913, at the age of 22, he was given a scholarship by the King of Baroda, who was a very large-hearted man. Based on that scholarship, he joined postgraduate course in June 1915, and for his master's, he presented a thesis called Ancient Indian Commerce. Finally, he received his PhD degree in economics from Columbia University in 1927. In between, Ambedkar got admitted at the London School of Economics, LSE, and at the same time enrolled at the Gray's Inn in London. He completed master's degree in London School of Economics in 1921, and in 1923 he completed DSc in economics from the University of London. In the same year, he was called to the bar by Gray's Inn. Friends, you may ask me why I am saying all this. I am saying all this because it is essential to know the man, to know the person in whose name the university stands, in whose shadow you are learning, whose idea or whose principles permeates through the entire Constitution, our Constitution. It is necessary to remind ourselves about Dr. Ambedkar's quest for knowledge and his successful academic journey, crossing one milestone after the other, despite facing so much of discrimination and obstacles. Continuing further, Dr. Ambedkar was admitted to the Bombay Bar Council in 1923. When I was a judge in the Bombay High Court, I went to the museum there. There is a museum at the Bombay High Court. And there, I could see the sanad, the license obtained by Ambedkar, Mahatma Gandhi. Those were written sanads kept in the museum. he began his practice in the Bombay High Court as well as in the district courts. And very soon, he distinguished himself as a very eminent counsel. Interestingly, in 1935, he was appointed as the principal of the Government Law College, Bombay, for 2 years. With such high qualifications, both in economics and in law, Dr. Ambedkar was way above his contemporaries in the entire Indian subcontinent. Indian subcontinent at that point of time stretched from present-day Afghanistan right up to present-day Myanmar. As an economist, he is often described as the highest educated Indian economist of all times and would be remembered for his significant contributions. There is no written document or anything of that sort, but I was told in the Bombay High Court that Dr. Ambedkar was offered judgeship of the Bombay High Court, but he politely refused. And this is a problem which continues in Bombay. Lawyers doing very well refuse to accept judgeship, particularly in the city of Bombay. This is a peculiar problem of that city. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise for all of us. He being a judge, he would have remained confined to the bench and we would have known him only through his judgments. Not joining the bench has been I think the nation or the society or the community has been the greatest beneficiaries. Dr. Ambedkar's strong views on the caste system, particularly on the aspect of untouchability, is very well known. It is not necessary to go into all this. Maybe because of his stature, he was invited to the Pune Pact. Those students of you will learn in history about Pune Pact, which saw electoral reservation for the depressed classes. Again, he was called and invited to attend a roundtable conference in London in 1932, where he argued for affirmative action in public life for the depressed classes. On 15/8/1947, India attained independence. Dr. B.B.A. Ambedkar became India's first law minister. 2 weeks later, on 29/8/1947, as a member of the Constituent Assembly, he was appointed chairman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, which comprised of 7 members. Friends, you come from different backgrounds. You come from different regions. Even now, in many parts of the country, you will find the society deeply feudalistic. Despite modernity, we still have feudalistic approach and mindset. It is caste ridden too. If this is true today, one can very well imagine the state of the society, more particularly in the rural hinterland, in the 1940s and 1950s. The drafting committee prepared a draft constitution and placed it before the Constituent Assembly. After several rounds of debates and discussions in the Constituent Assembly, our constitution was finally adopted on 26/11/1949, which came into force from 26/1/1950 when we became a republic. Friends, as you will navigate through your studies, you will understand the vibrancy and the transformative character of our Constitution, which we, the people of India, have given to ourselves, the essence of which finds manifestation in the preamble. The essence of the Indian Constitution. There are various articles in the Indian Constitution, but the core essence of the Indian Constitution is the equality. Equality between men and men, equality between men and women. This is the essence of the Indian Constitution. It has transposed a deeply feudal society with several segments outside the mainstream into a modern forward-looking society, giving voice to the voiceless, transposing these people into the mainstream. It is still a work in progress. And as students of law, you will study the Constitution, you will add your own inputs to the Constitution, and that's how the Constitution is a vibrant vehicle of transformation. Professor Ahuja has said about the opportunities that await you once you graduate from the law university. And he has highlighted that it is litigation which stands out of all the opportunities. So I'm not going to speak much on what opportunities await you once you graduate from the law university. That is still a long way to go. For the moment, enjoy university life. The university is a place where young people meet. Therefore, it has got its own vibrancy. Therefore, it has got its own energy. This is, I would say, the best phase of your life. University life is not going to come back again. Study hard. At the same time, participate in all extracurricular activities. Certainly, moot courts you will definitely join, but don't confine your activities only to the moot court activities. There are various others. You make use of the library, read, and keep yourself abreast of current affairs, domestic as well as international. A future lawyer must be fully aware. To develop that competence, you must inculcate in yourself the habit of reading. Please read. Law expects. I'm also a student of law. And law is a continuing education. Nobody can say there's a full stop in law, I have learned everything, there's nothing more to learn. No. It's a lifelong journey. We are all students of law. Law expects us to develop an inquisitive mind. But how will you develop an inquisitive mind? Unless you read, unless you question. So you must ask questions. You must ask questions to yourself. You must ask questions to the faculty, your teacher. You must not accept anything and everything as a gospel truth. That is why universities occupy such an important place in any society. A university is a place where young minds come together to think, to discuss, to debate, and where necessary to question. That is how ideas evolve. That is how universities, institutions of learning remain intellectually vibrant. Universities should encourage, I firmly believe, that universities should encourage the students to be critical in their thought and analysis and not parroting the texts. Universities should not be seen as stifling or curbing the questioning spirit of the students. That you must inculcate in yourself. A question was once posed to our former president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who was very fond of students, on how scientific aptitude in students could be enhanced. Dr. Kalam replied back, we have to allow students to ask questions. And we should have the patience to answer the questions satisfactorily. We should not stop them from asking questions. Curiosity is the foundation of creativity. And that, along with a questioning mind, will lead to scientific temperament. My young friends, it is a fundamental duty of every citizen of India to inculcate or to develop a scientific temperament. It is there in the Constitution, as you will read. The germination of which takes place in the university as you examine things critically with an open mind and start questioning. Friends, there's a World Cup final today. I won't take much time. I don't know how many of you support Argentina. Somehow or the other, I have not been able to support Argentina. There's a controversy also going around at the World Cup that the new system they have introduced, VAR, is somehow it is helping Argentina. There are critical voices there also. The way Argentina defeated the other teams, France the other day, and also later on England, there are question marks there. Is it because Argentina is all white? We don't know. There appears to be an institutional bias. That's what people critics are saying in favor of Argentina. I supported England, lost. Last time I supported France, lost. This time I am supporting Spain. I think maybe proved right this time. So, before I conclude, let me remind myself and all of us about the immortal words of the great world poet who could capture the deepest aspirations of the human mind and human soul. Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore's vision of a world where the mind is without fear and the head is held high continues to guide and inspire us. A great nationalist he was, a great visionary he was. Rabindranath wanted India to awaken. India at that point of time was under the British rule. He wanted India to awaken to a bright dawn of freedom. Freedom from slavery and from our own mental chains. This is more important. Read this poem aloud once. Read it again silently. Read it many times. The more you read it, the more you will understand the depth of this poem. Tagore said, in fact, while I was Chief Justice in Hyderabad, the Bengali Association there, they came and invited me to speak on Rabindranath Tagore's the birth centenary. That's in May, I think. So in that, I told the audience that Rabindranath Tagore was way beyond, way ahead of his times. And you cannot confine Rabindranath Tagore to the boundaries of Bengal. You cannot confine Rabindranath Tagore to the present political boundary of India. He is a global visionary. His views resonates even today more than ever before. Last year in November, in the Constitution Club at Delhi, I was there in Krishna Iyer's birth centenary celebration. And I said, Krishna Iyer, towards the end, though initially he was a communist, towards the end he became a believer. Not only a believer, he started believing in rebirth. I have my own views on this. This is not the occasion. So I said, if anybody is to be reborn in India at this juncture, I mean in the judicial context, I said Justice Krishna Iyer should be reborn again. In that meeting I said, looking at the world scenario, if there has to be a rebirth, Gurudev Tagore needs to be reborn in India today. So let us read this poem together. Where the mind is without fear, where the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up to into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. So I have taken enough of your time. Once again, my warmest congratulations to each one of you for clearing the CLAT examination and starting a new phase in your life. One last piece of advice. I can't give advice to others. You are students, that much liberty I can take. Please don't enter into any rat race. It is not worth it. Don't enter into a rat race. The world is a beautiful place. You have got enough opportunities and talent within. Each one of you have got enough talent within you to make a mark in any discipline. There is space for everybody under the sun. In the meanwhile, enjoy university life. That's all that I can tell you. Thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much, sir, for reminding us that the finest lessons in law are not learned only in the books, but in moments like this. So, with your respect, with your permission, can we have some questions from our audience? If anybody wants to ask something, yes, please. Swati?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It is an honor to interact with you. I would like to ask that you have been with young students and even with young judges in the Supreme Court and in the High Court. So what is one quality that you admire in the young people who are in academics and in studies and even in the judicial service? Thank you, sir.
There is one correction here. In the Supreme Court, there are no young people. In fact,
relatively younger.
it's a little bit young, but otherwise there is no young people. But I like young people for the simple reason that young people have fresh ideas. They are not bogged down by the kind of the kind of things happening outside the campus. See, our country is founded on love, respect for each other. This is the land of Buddha. This is the land of Gandhi, Tagore, Ambedkar. Please embrace everybody. Try to build up an inclusive university environment. That's how you will intellectually thrive. That's what I. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, my lord. Myself, Unnati. So, sir, due to the restoration of the 3-year mandatory practice rule in judicial services, as a first gen and a woman in India, I want to know if there is scope for some flexibility. Though I know this is for judicial maturity, but what do you think? What are the
In
perspectives?
fact, thank you very much for raising this issue. One thing, your students have started asking questions. The teacher should be careful now. See, I had addressed the judicial officers of Telangana, Telangana Judicial Academy, and I raised this issue. It sounds on paper very good that you should have 3 years practice, because your exposure at the bar will make you a better, it will make you more, experienced to take up this role of being a judicial magistrate or a civil judge. There is merit in this. But at the same time, there is a flip side to it. I have been studying the pattern of judicial service throughout the country. You can please take your seat. And I have noticed in recent times that in grade 3 of judicial service across the country, women are doing exceptionally well. And these women are not only from the cities, they are from rural areas also. They are from disadvantaged classes also. They are doing exceptionally well. In Rajasthan, for example, the entry of women is more than 60-65% of total. Last time when I was, that was a long time back in Assam, it was more than 50%. Telangana, it is 50% cross. Maharashtra, it is almost touching 50%. So, now when you impose this condition of 3 years, a girl studying up to law faces a lot of societal and family pressures. Withstanding those pressures, you have studied, you have reached this stage. Whether how many students or women candidates will be able to withstand this societal pressure, family pressure of entering into matrimony. Because once you enter into matrimony, it becomes very, very difficult. Though there are instances. So only time will say whether how this pans out. We have tried it both. Earlier it was there 3 years. Then the moment it was removed, the experience shows that a lot of young people came in. They do exceptionally well. A lot of women come. In fact, on 8th of May, on Women's Day, there was a conference by women in law in Supreme Court. I was present with. And I said this: when there is an objective assessment of merit as this, women do exceptionally well. 60% of the recruits are women, or 100. When that objective assessment is removed at the level of the High Court, when the collegium takes over, there is hardly any women representation. We need to ask ourselves, in a country of the size of India, only Chief Justice of Gujarat, Chief Justice of Meghalaya, Chief Justice of Andhra are women. In the Supreme Court of India, now at present we have 35 judges. Till very recently we had only one judge, Justice Nagarath, lady judge, Justice Nagarath. Now Justice Mohana has joined. Is this enough? So this 3-year, this experience criteria, I don't know how it pans out. For the moment, let us go with this. But I think it is still a work in progress. As experience will gather, I'm sure the authorities will have a relook into this. I'm not very particularly enthusiastic about the 3-year experience criteria. Thank you.
Appreciated, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Can we have one last question? Yes, please.
Good afternoon, my lord.
There are two. You are from here.
Okay, okay, sir.
2 women, 2 men.
Good afternoon, my lord. I am Bhuyan Gawan. And so my question is, how should a judge strike the balance between the rule of law and justice when the special facts of a case don't come into conflict? Thank you, sir.
No, your question itself is there can't be any conflict between rule of law and justice. A judge has to uphold rule of law all the time, and dispense justice. So there is no conflict.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes.
I am Advitya, and I wanted to ask that being a second generational legal profession and the legal professional, what all challenges did you face during your life, especially your career, and what motivated you from becoming a senior advocate in 2010 to becoming appointed as a judge in 2011 and then a permanent judge in 2013?
See, people say there is an advantage in being a second generation or a third generation lawyer. There's no doubt about it. You have a inbuilt advantage over that. But that should not come in the way of new first generation students from becoming lawyers. After all, my father came from the village. He struggled hard and he became a successful lawyer. So I became a second generation lawyer. So somebody has to be a first generation lawyer. So there is, I think, there is a book by Fali Nariman. The book is Before Memory Fades. It's an autobiography of him.
Yes.
Though it is primarily meant for young lawyers and law graduates, but it is equally important for law students to read this book. You will know how you should navigate your law study. Look at the life of Palkiwala, Nani Palkiwala, undoubtedly one of India's greatest constitutional lawyers. In his childhood, he suffered from stammering. He could barely speak a sentence, complete one sentence. Look at the Herculean efforts made by him. I am told that he used to put some almond inside his, beneath the tongue and try to speak. In fact, he was not given a job as a professor, which he qualified as a professor of English. That was his first love. Because of, still he had this stammering habit. And look at the Indian history, Indian constitutional history is incomplete without the likes of Nani Palkiwala. So if you read about the lives of Nani Palkiwala, you read about the lives of Ali Nariman, certainly the answer lies there. What is to be done, what is not. There are no shortcuts in law. Please remember that. There is an issue, and this is not the appropriate forum, about long back, Justice Karju had spoken about this uncle-auntie or the uncle-nephew syndrome in Allahabad, where he comes from Allahabad. Now that syndrome has become more acute now. Instead of uncle-auntie, now it has become father-son, mother-son, like that in India. So there also, these are issues. I will not go into all this. Please read about these great lawyers. You will find your answer there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, students. Now, to conclude the session, I request Dr. Divya to please propose a vote of thanks and formally conclude the session.
Respected Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan, our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dr. Devinder Singh, sir, in absentia, Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja, sir, our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Dr. Ashutosh Mishra, sir, our Registrar, distinguished faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, and our young and enthusiastic students. Good afternoon to all of you. It is my privilege and honor to stand before you at the concluding moments of this enriching session of Deeksharambh to propose a formal vote of thanks. At the very outset, I wish to express our deepest gratitude to Honorable Mr. Justice Ujjal Bhuyan for gracing this occasion as our chief guest. Sir, the manner in which you have interacted with our students, the manner in which you have shared your personal experiences with our students today with such warmth and sincerity, it made the session truly special. It was not merely an address, but a heartfelt sharing of your journey, and the ease with which you have connected to the students, to the young minds, it will definitely leave a lasting impression on all of us. Your words and practical tips for leading the university life as a law student will continue to guide and inspire the students as they begin their journey in the world of law. I must also place on record our sincere appreciation to Professor Dr. V.K. Ahuja sir, our guest of honor, for his deeply insightful address. Sir, your reflections on the importance of law as a career, the diverse avenues it offers, the need for students to identify their core competencies, and most importantly, the value of hard work and co-curricular engagement in shaping a well-rounded lawyer were both practical and motivating. Your words have given our students much to reflect upon as they chart their own paths ahead. My heartfelt thanks also go to our Registrar, Professor Dr. Ashutosh Mishra sir, for his warm and eloquent welcome address that set the perfect tone for today's proceedings, and for his constant support in ensuring that this program runs seamlessly. I would also like to convey our respectful regards once again to our Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dr. Devinder Singh sir. His vision for nurturing well-rounded legal professionals continues to be the guiding force behind every academic initiative of this university, including this Deeksharambh. I take this opportunity to thank all the faculty members, non-teaching staff, and the organizing team whose tireless efforts behind the scene have made today's proceedings a success. And finally, to our students, I hope the wisdom shared by our chief guest and the practical guidance offered by our guest of honor today stay with you as you navigate the exciting and challenging path of the legal education that lies ahead of you. With these words, I once again extend my sincere gratitude to all our dignitaries, guests, colleagues, and students for making this event a memorable one. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request everyone to please rise for national anthem.
जय गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे